This man is an idiot. He has a beautiful wife, but doesn't want her. He insists on choosing to watch porn. This person is me, Hao Good-Man. I used to be a young man without a car, without a house, and without a girlfriend. It wasn't until a master told me that I was a once-in-a-century martial arts genius. I then started to learn various martial arts skills. By the time I made my debut, I was already able to defeat anyone in combat. I also took the opportunity to establish my own Good-Men clan and started to eradicate evil and uphold justice. Soon I married a beautiful and wealthy woman and reached the peak of my life. However, what I did not expect was that my secretary unexpectedly gave me a big gift. Being a good man, of course, I could not refuse this kindness. I directly gave the big plane a sweet hug. Upon waking up again, I found myself in a mysterious space. Looks like I've become the first male lead to die from playing with a plane. Just then, a stunning girl appeared in front of me. She introduced herself as the goddess of system, and I am the host she has chosen. She then began to introduce my mission. It turns out that in the near future of 2030, due to a globally popular beverage, resulting in a large number of humans turning into zombies, the world was quickly overrun by a large number of zombies, becoming a true apocalypse. And all I need to do is to rescue the people there and help them rebuild their homes, then I can return to the original world. Of course, System Girl couldn't bear to let me, this man with no power, die in vain. So she promised to give me special help. After all, in front of me, there were already 98 hosts who had lamented in the Northwest. With just a wave of her hand, numerous skills, techniques, and arts appeared before me. At first sight, I was captivated by a dojutsu, not because it had the power to destroy the heavens and earth, but because it possessed the divine skills that every man dreams of. Do I still need to hesitate? I'll just choose it. The next second, my pupils turned golden. I quickly turned my head to look at System Girl to test the effect of this X-ray vision skill. The scene was too beautiful, so I won't show it to the audience here. However, my actions couldn't escape System Girl's notice. She immediately gave me a big slap and then teleported me out at the fastest speed. Just as I was curious about what the end of the world would look like, the sound of rushing water caught my attention. I turned to look, and a graceful figure was reflected on the shower curtain behind me. Oh my! Could this be the zombie of the end of the world? No matter how great your kung fu is, you still fear the kitchen knife. But I dare to catch a plane with bare hands. I successfully played dead on the spot. I accidentally obtained the goddess of system, but I just used the perspective dojutsu to take a peek at her pantsu. I was then transported to a post-apocalyptic world full of zombies, and was asked to become some sort of savior. But what greeted me was a charming figure of a young lady. Could she really be a zombie in this post-apocalyptic world? I quickly activate my dojutsu to conduct a search. Just as I was carefully observing and identifying, a short sword suddenly shot out from behind the bath curtain and headed straight for my face. Fortunately, my mastery of floating steps over the waves was at its peak, allowing me to easily dodge the short sword's projectile attack. The next moment, a blonde girl rushed out from behind the curtain, wielding a knife and attacking me. However, no matter how she attacked, she couldn't harm me at all. And I just made a slow motion move with my left hand and right foot. I easily subdued her. The girl, on the other hand, was threatening to gouge out my eyeballs. At this moment, I finally confirmed that the girl in front of me was indeed a human. She saw me relaxing my guard and was surprised. The girl raised her 1.8-meter long legs and swung them towards me. But she was once again easily controlled by me. She saw that she was no match for me at all, so she decided to summon zombies to perish with me. She immediately opened her big mouth and bit towards my carotid artery. However, the next second, she collapsed with a gurgling sound. It turns out the girl had been hungry for several days. The recent fight had drained all her energy. I see the pitiful appearance of this girl Choo-Choo in front of me. I immediately transformed into Gontu Daping. I took out a can and handed it to her to eat. This girl actually doubted the character of this good man. She thought I had ulterior motives towards her. There's no other way. I can only savor this delicious canned food alone. However, in the end of the world, who can resist the temptation of braised pork? While I was off guard, the girl snatched the canned food from my hand and started to enjoy the deliciousness of this world. I also learned the name of this girl in front of me, which is Yi Shirley. Indeed, in this post-apocalyptic world, food is the most valuable currency. With various delicacies as leverage, I successfully obtained a detailed map of the city where Shirley is located. After planning the route, I bid farewell to Shirley. I am ready to go in search of my first hunting target. After all, System Girl mentioned that there will be unexpected surprises when killing zombies. Just as I was curious about what kind of surprise it would be, a zombie suddenly broke through the window and attacked me. Hao Good-Man smirked devilishly. He slightly moved back to dodge the attack from the zombie. He looked at the zombie in front of him and thought that it must have been attracted by the sound of the soda can he kicked. They are so sensitive to sound. The zombie won't give Hao Good-Man any time to think. It opens its claws and reaches out towards him. He looks at the claws that are within reach. He thinks that if he were scratched by this claw, he would probably turn into a zombie. There's nothing he can do. Then I'll just take off his claws first. I saw the good man summoning the dagger with his mind. He swiftly crossed over the zombie at an invisible speed and then disarmed its claws. Hao Good-Man looked smug and said, "Come catch me if you can, you little noob." But when he turned to look, he found that the zombie's arm was miraculously regenerating in front of his eyes. In the blink of an eye, a complete arm grew out, leaving Hao Good-Man stunned and speechless. Realizing what was happening, Hao Good-Man quickly ran in the opposite direction of the zombie. He wondered how could it have regeneration abilities. Isn't that unfair? Wow, just like one of those wannabe online experts. But zombie doesn't care about all that. It makes a howling sound as it relentlessly pursues from behind. In the blink of an eye, the zombie caught up with Hao Good-Man and was ready to dig into his waist. Just hear a swish sound and Hao Good-Man raised his knife and chopped off the zombie's arm. The zombie looked at his newly regenerated arm and grinned, as if saying, "Come on! If you are brothers, then come praise me." As you wish. Hao Good-Man only saw disassemble Zombie's arm again. But he still did not hurt Zombie at all. Hao Good-Man was furious. He took a dagger and confronted Zombie head-on. Zombie was not weak either, so they kept hacking at each other and regenerating. Neither could defeat the other. They finally stopped when both of them were exhausted. Hao Good-Man smiled and retracted the dagger with his mind. He unleashed Away's 18 ultimate moves of martial arts. He threw a punch directly towards the zombie. The zombie covered its head with both hands, as if it could sense the strong energy coming towards it. Just then, when Hao Good-Man's fist touched the zombie was sent flying backward. It lay on the ground finally without a breath. The man punched Zombie's dog head, and unexpectedly Zombie burst out 1 million gold coins. The man is extremely excited. He is thinking that this must be the surprise mentioned by the goddess of system. Then I must reward her with a monkey. But the gold coins held in hand are slowly dissipating. Hao Good-Man looks puzzled. At this moment, the goddess of system jumps out and congratulates the host on successfully eliminating a zombie. You can get 1 million gold coins by eliminating a zombie. Now that you have your first bucket of gold, you can start spending money. He heard the words of the goddess. Hao Good-Man instantly felt that he was just one step away from being a tall, rich, and handsome man. The goddess looked at Hao Good-Man, who was like money falling into her eyes, and continued speaking. Because you have struck gold for the first time. The Dojutsu skill upgrade tree has been activated, but upgrading the martial soul Dojutsu requires spending 10 million game currency. You don't have enough money for it yet. Even Hao Good-Man was stunned to hear about the 10 million. He thought to himself, with so much money, wouldn't it be great to retire early? Seeing Hao Good-Man's expression, Goddess of System gleefully said, "Serves you right. Host, your current ability with the Golden Dojutsu is to see through things. The next level ability of the Martial Soul Dojutsu is temporarily confidential. If you want to know, work hard to fight monsters and earn money. By the way, you have activated the Gate of Dojutsu function, which allows you to return to the original world." Hao Good-Man, who dreams of returning to the original world, is excited. "Quick! Tell me quickly how much money I need to spend in order to use it." The goddess was so excited when she saw the enthusiastic Hao Good-Man, she felt her scheme had succeeded. "It's not expensive. It only costs 1 billion gold coins for each teleportation. And once you're teleported there, you can only stay in the original world for 24 hours. Upon hearing the 1 billion gold coins, Hao Good-Man looked like a wilted eggplant. He felt that returning to the original world seemed like a distant prospect. She looked at the listless Hao Good-Man. The goddess no longer strikes him. Your virtual space can store items other than life. The coins dropped by killing zombies can only be seen by you. And you don't need to manually pick them up. They will automatically convert into your wealth. By the way, the time in the outside world will stop when you enter the virtual space, so you don't have to worry about being discovered or harmed when entering the space. You have to work hard. If you have any questions, feel free to call me Hao Good-Man, watching the slowly dissipating goddess." He touched his forehead and said, "You said it too simply." He is now only more than 99 million gold coins away from opening the gate back to the original world. Thinking about so many gold coins, Hao Good-Man feels a headache coming on. Forget it. I gonna keep farming mobs and stacking that cash. He just gave a can of food to the girl in front of him. She thinks I'm the canned food tycoon of the apocalypse just because I gave her a can. Even after we parted ways, she still followed me all the way. It seems that she is still infatuated with my body. No, it's the taste of canned food. I thought I could stop her from following by punching the zombie's head, but I didn't expect that she is a woman who won't stop until she reaches her goal. Now I don't want to deal with her. I just want to kill more zombies, earn more coins, and quickly return to the original world. But it took me a long time to find a few zombies in the city. I thought to myself, at this rate, it's too slow to earn 100 million coins. Where have all those zombies died off to? At this moment, a tempting smell came from beside me. The good man pinched his nose and picked it up. He opened it and found a distress message written by a girl on top, with a sexy lip print. Could it be a honey trap? Forget it. I'm just going to look for zombie myself. Just like that, Hao Good-Man arrived at the amusement park. Just as he was looking around, a voice suddenly came from his ear. I saw a young lady waving a flag for help and shouting, "Hey, handsome guy, come rescue me." But her cries for help grew fainter and fainter. Tears couldn't help but fall from her eyes. It turns out that the zombies around heard the movement and crowded around. The girl looked at the zombies, which were within arm's reach. She cried out loudly in fear, just as the zombies reached out their claws towards the girl. Hao Good-Man picked up a rock from the ground and used all his strength to smash it towards the zombie. Only to see a bang, the zombie's body was pierced directly. The good man showed a look of satisfaction. They all turned into zombies, who only know how to bully women. You guys must not have been good people before you died. The surrounding zombies seemed to understand his words, all marching towards Hao Good-Man in unison. Then, they went crazy and ran towards Hao Good-Man, only to see Hao Good-Man flick his finger lightly. The stone pierced through the zombie's head like a bullet. But other zombies have already arrived by Hao Good-Man's side. Hao Good-Man remains calm and composed. Just as he made a series of maneuvers, he effortlessly took care of all the zombies. Just then, a series of booming sounds echoed. All the zombies turned into gold coins and lay on the ground. The girl saw that Hao Good-Man had killed so many zombies and thought to herself, "This is the man I want." She only saw her tugging at her already tattered clothes, speaking in a suggestive tone. "Hey there, handsome, I really like you. But even if you like me, please keep your hands to yourself. This isn't a lawless zone." Faced with such a stunning girl making advances, the man didn't even look at her. The girl looked puzzled. The next second, the girl was sweating as she watched the man reach into Zombie's crotch area as if looking for something. The girl was shocked and turned pale. What is he doing? Does he have any special fetishes? I saw the man continue to search around for the zombie, thinking that all the other zombies had dropped coins except for you. Did you hide them? But he didn't find anything either. The man finally lost his patience and shook the zombie vigorously, shouting loudly, "Give me back my hard-earned money." The young lady was stunned by the scene in front of her. She wondered if this was what they called a life-and-death situation. This is too hardcore. As the man kept shaking, the zombie finally dropped some gold coins. The man looks like he's really enjoying it. He thought to himself, finally it came out. It feels so great to get something through his own efforts. The young lady was so scared that she quickly hid away, thinking to herself if she could still escape now. But it seemed like the man could hear her thoughts. He turned and asked, "What were you just saying?" The already frightened young lady was almost scared to death by this sudden sound. There's no way around it. It's not easy to meet a man that I'm satisfied with. Whether he is straight or gay, I'll make him fall in love with me first. The young lady then put on a shy expression and said, "Thank you, handsome guy, for saving me. If it weren't for you, I'd probably be dead here today." She saw the man who had no reaction. "I am Choo Choo Baby. I was searching for food when I accidentally disturbed nearby zombies. I injured my leg while escaping and ended up being trapped here. I know you, handsome guy. You have great martial arts skills. Can you please send Choo Choo back? I will definitely thank you very much by then." He heard a hearty thank you. The man's mind flashed countless images in an instant. Immediately, he turned his head and said, "When you mentioned a hearty thank you, are you implying that you have gold on your side?" The young woman's face fell, thinking to herself why he wasn't following the usual script. Suddenly, she immediately changed her expression and said, "Hey handsome, you're kidding. Who needs that thing in the future? It can't be eaten or used." "But it's different when you're with me." But she hadn't finished her sentence yet. The man turned his head and said, "If there's no gold, forget it. I have things to do. Let's talk about it next time." Upon hearing the man reject her, the young lady was furious. "Stop right there. Don't toast and then refuse to drink, resulting in a punishment." He just didn't want to escort the young lady in front of him home. He called a bunch of girls to come and surround me. The man was shocked, thinking to himself, "I knew this darn thing was a honey trap. Luckily, I didn't give her a ride back. If I had gone, wouldn't I be like a sheep entering a tiger's den?" At this moment, the girl with short hair stepped forward and said, "Choo Choo, where did you find this handsome guy? He's really something special." The girl next to her also quickly responded, "Yes, that's right, that's right." The man's face immediately darkened as he looked at himself being teased like this. But in the blink of an eye, he turned into a licking dog, using a set of tricks to make the girl he likes bloom with joy. The short-haired girl couldn't help but reach out and touch Hao Good-Man's broad shoulder. With a loud sound, "Wow, handsome, you really know how to make the girls happy." Choo Choo saw the short-haired girl starting to make a move and hurried to step in. "He is my lifesaver. Don't you dare bully him." But the man at this point actually looks like he's enjoying it, even saying, "Don't stop, I like it when you bully me." When Choo Choo saw this scene, she broke out in a cold sweat. This is truly a big pervert. She thought to herself, "This guy just now had a proud gay attitude of rather die than surrender. How come he suddenly became so interested in girls?" At this moment, a sentence that someone once said flashed through Choo Choo's mind. "There is no man in the world that no woman can handle. If there is, then just add a few more women to him." At this moment, Hao Good-Man is about to be played around by the girls. Just then, the young ladies pulled Hao Good-Man over and buried him in their chests. Sisters all like you. Are you willing to come with us? As long as you follow the sisters, all of us will be yours. And on the side, Choo-Choo quickly stepped forward and held Hao Good-Man's arm, seizing the opportunity to say, Yes, yes. We have many delicious foods and drinks. Just come back with us, Hao Good-Man. Feeling the elasticity from Choo-Choo's grasp on his arm. At this moment, he felt as if he had arrived in heaven. At this moment, the man has lost himself, mumbling, No problem, you all look so good. Whatever you ask me to do, I'll do it. I'll follow your lead. But the girls blushed shyly on the surface, surrounding Hao Good-Man. In their hearts, they actually thought he was a real man, but they didn't expect him to be so easily deceived. There is no challenge at all. It's really boring. He originally thought that he would have a group of wives and concubines by his side from then on. But he didn't expect that each of them turned out to be fierce and scheming, trying to tie him up and rob him. Fortunately, I had already seen through their conspiracy. I surreptitiously stole their tools before they were aware of it. The girls at this moment looked confused. They quickly gathered together to discuss the disappearance of their weapons, completely unaware that I was no longer by their side. I watched the young ladies whispering to each other. Hao Good-Man held the tools used by the girls and said slowly, Stop looking. The things are all with me. The girl quickly turned her head to look at Hao Good-Man. How is this possible? Were you pretending just now? Hao Good-Man put on a mocking expression. What do you all think? Come on, you don't actually think I'm that creepy old guy, right? I saw through your tricks a long time ago. I felt something was off right from the moment I walked in. Even though Choo-Choo is surrounded by zombies, you show no fear at all. So I directly activated the dojutsu for observation. I didn't expect that the woman asking for help would have a tranquilizer needle on her. And the tranquilizer needle doesn't work on zombies, so your target must be me. But it's too dangerous for a woman like you to come out as bait in the apocalypse, so I guess you must have companions around you. So I used dojutsu to expand the scope of my investigation. I did see a few women lurking nearby. They are fully equipped and don't look weak at all, not displaying any sign of being frail women. Although I know this is a trap, I really don't understand why you are trying to catch a big man like me. In the past, I was the only one setting traps for others on the road. I never expected that in this world, someone would set a trap for me. So I used the skills I honed in the previous world. Help myself to something. Now all your weapons have been taken by me. I want to see what tricks you have left. By the way, I don't know if you've heard that real hunters often appear in the form of prey. Feel free to use any means you have, otherwise, you may not have the chance later. When you hear this, the girl with short hair was full of anger, thinking that since the plan had been exposed and the weapon had been confiscated, she had no choice but to go all out. Next, she walked up and said, So what have you seen through it? So far, no man has been able to escape from me. As she spoke, four girls rushed up at lightning speed. In this female-dominant world, little fresh meat not only needs to go to the construction site to move bricks. At night, he also has to endure the rich woman's beating. Just because of the outbreak of the end-of-the-world virus. The infection rate among males is much higher than that among females, leading to a sharp decrease in the number of males. And now, men have become rare animals, important commodities fought over by all women. The men in front of us refuse to go home with these women. They are furious. They want to use violence to make men submit. And the men are not worried at all. He grabbed the fist of the woman rushing towards him. Then he tripped her. The woman lost her balance and fell out. Immediately after, the man injected the sedative into the woman's buttocks. After he easily resolved one issue, another girl flew over and kicked with a swift kick. The man grabbed her small whip and wrapped it around the woman's legs. With a big swing of his hand, the woman spun around in place like a top. And the last two girls saw the situation in front of them. They rushed up directly. They started working up and down. With a click sound, the attacks of the two people made a huge noise. But their attacks were easily dodged by the man, with a casual step. He casually handcuffed their hands together. Next, the man held a small knife against the woman's waist. The woman was not afraid at all. They arrogantly said, "Do you think you can?" But before she could finish speaking, she was slapped unconscious by a man. And at this moment, a camera was focusing on the man. It turns out that Yi Shirley was watching everything from a high place. She thought to herself that men are usually weak against beauty. Surprisingly, he did not take the bait. It seems that his appearance in my bathroom before might have been a misunderstanding. By this time, Hao Good-Man had already tied those women together. Hao Good-Man looked at the scene before him and thought to himself that the figure was really good. It's a pity. But ever since he arrived in the underworld, he encountered nothing but women. As the woman looked at her bound limbs, she said fiercely, "We are members of the Black Lotus Gang. If you dare treat us like this, just wait for revenge." The man, with a fearless expression on his face, grinned and said, "Black Lotus Gang? I think it's the Black Heart Gang, isn't it? Now you better answer a few questions obediently, or I'll throw you to feed the zombie. Judging from the way you're dressed, all of you should be using this method to catch men, right? Just subdue these she-devils." He wanted to persuade them to form a beauty army for himself. But unexpectedly, a large group of zombies rushed out. The man looked excited as he stared at the zombies. He thought to himself that he was just worried about not having money, and now money is coming to him. The poor girl who is tied up is in trouble, as the zombies rush towards her. They grabbed the girl's arm. At this moment, the short-haired girl was so scared that she burst into tears, trembling as she said to Choo Choo, "Please help me untie the rope." But Choo Choo looked disgusted and said, "If you've already been infected, don't drag me down with you," she said, and then she shook off the young lady with short hair and ran out the door. And the young lady with short hair was then engulfed by the crowd of zombies. The fleeing Choo Choo didn't forget to threaten Hao Good-Man, telling him to wait because she would definitely come back for revenge. Hao Good-Man said fearlessly, "I will be ready to welcome you at any time." Following closely, Hao Good-Man charged towards the group of zombies and wreaked havoc. After dealing with all the zombies, the man stood in the middle of the square, watching the coins that burst out from the zombies. He had a satisfied expression on his face. Shirley looked at him with a silly smile on her face. She was thinking about why he could resist the temptation of a beauty just now, but now showed a look of excitement while killing zombies. A strange idea suddenly emerged in my mind. Does this person have a particular affinity for zombies? Shirley rolled her eyes at the thought. At this time, another large group of zombies rushed towards the man. Hao Good-Man looked at more and more zombies approaching and thought it might be best to call it quits today. Otherwise, if there are too many zombies later, it wouldn't be worth it to put himself in danger. He then used telekinesis to take out a can of food. At this moment, Shirley was scrutinizing every move of Hao Good-Man. When she saw the can in Hao Good-Man's hand, she immediately had stars in her eyes and drool dripping from her mouth. She almost drowned in her own drool. Hao Good-Man already knew that Shirley was nearby. He shouted at her loudly, "Have you had enough of watching the show? If I die, all these delicious canned foods will be gone." Before Hao Good-Man could finish speaking, only to see the Ferris wheel shaking violently. "Wait! I'll be there in a second." Only to see Shirley jump off the Ferris wheel. "Fire up. Start." She rode a motorcycle and dashed towards Hao Good-Man. She bumped and dashed all the way. Even the zombies were scared and gave way to her. Shirley suddenly skidded to a stop beside Hao Good-Man and shouted aggressively, "Get in the car. Make sure the canned goods are well packed. If one is missing, I'll twist your waist off." The girl risks her life to save the man. But she didn't expect him to take advantage of the speeding motorcycle and behave like a rogue. Feeling a slight strange sensation from the other person's body, the female protagonist blushed and felt embarrassed. She directly planted several mushrooms on the man's head and coquettishly said, "If it weren't for the food, I wouldn't have used up the precious gasoline for you." The man then showed a smug expression of having taken advantage of the situation. "I am generous, so I won't hold it against you this time," he replied. That's how it is. In this awkward atmosphere, the two returned to their residence. The man watched as the girl tinkered with the kerosene lamp and asked, "Is this your base too?" "Yes, after the outbreak of the apocalypse virus, the wealthy area turned into an uninhabited ghost town. I turned this mansion into a base," she replied. The man looked puzzled and asked, "With such scarce resources in the post-apocalyptic world, where did you find gasoline and motorcycles?" "That was given to me by my father before the apocalypse. I was planning to use it to travel to the survivor base to find my parents. But the north gate is full of zombies. I tried several times, but couldn't break through. Now I can only take good care of it. I have also been collecting gasoline all the time. Maybe one day I can leave. I don't know if my parents are still alive." He looked at the girl with a worried expression. Hao Good-Man is also sentimental when touched by the scene. He took out an apple and handed it to the little girl. "Eat it. Only when you are full can you have the strength to find your parents." I thought it was going to be a moving scene. But the next second, the little girl immediately ate both Hao Good-Man's hand and the apple in one bite. The woman looked blissful and said, "So sweet. I haven't had an apple in a long time. The last time I ate one was 2 years ago in a frozen warehouse where the fruit was rotting." Hao Good-Man looked disgusted as he gazed at the drool on his hand. He thought to himself, "This is a real little foodie." Suddenly, an idea flashed through his mind. "Miss, are you following me like this because you have a crush on me and want to offer your body to me?" The lady who heard this almost sprayed out her apple. Then she blushed and said shyly, "Who has a crush on you?" "I just feel sorry for those foods. And if you die, I won't be able to get food from you anymore, right? But on second thought, what kind of person are you? How come you have so much food?" Hao Good-Man crosses his arms in front of his chest. "Although it's our second meeting, I'm not sure what kind of person you really are. How could I tell you such an important secret? You don't already know my name? I used to be a member of the swordsmanship team. I'm good at using cold weapons. With the training of these 2 years, my skills are still alright, but I still can't beat you." Hao Good-Man had a flash of insight when he heard about the swordsmanship team. "These are the best members to form my girl group." But when he looked at the men, a lecherous expression appeared on his face. The girl knew what he was thinking and immediately planted cute little mushrooms on him. The guilty man quickly coughed twice and introduced himself. "My name is Hao Good-Man. I am a martial arts trainer. As for food," he was just in my pocket. "Would you like to have a look by yourself?" He tried to stop the young lady from continuing to ask where his food came from. The man then said, "They are all in the pockets. If you don't believe, come and have a look for yourself." The young lady immediately realized he was teasing her. She slapped the man and sent him flying with one slap. Seeing the young lady, the man stopped asking about food and said earnestly, "I need to hunt down the zombies around here, and you are familiar with this area. I want you to guide me." The man was about to say something but was immediately interrupted by the woman. "Only a lunatic would go hunting zombies." But when she heard the man say that if he was willing, during this period, she could eat canned meat and fruits and vegetables until she was full, the young lady immediately agreed. She thought to herself that this person doesn't seem bad after spending so much time together. And starving to death seems to be more unappealing compared to being bitten to death by zombies. That's how the young lady became the first member of the male leads end of the world girl group. The two of them sitting in the living room chatting idly about what happened during the day. Just a second ago, the man was saying that he is a gentleman and nothing can deceive his eyes. But the next second, he was made to have a nosebleed by a scene. I saw a young lady coming out of the room dressed in a cool outfit. The woman saw the man who was still bleeding from his nose with a look of shyness on his face, and then let out a loud scream. While the man had a face full of embarrassment, he was once again implanted with a small mushroom. Shirley quickly took the young lady into the room and angrily said to Hao Good-Man, "I'm taking my sister to change clothes. If you dare to peek, I'll smash your dog head." With that, she slammed the door shut. The man, on the other hand, had a depressed expression on his face. "She suddenly appeared dressed like that. I didn't mean to see it either. You were too heavy-handed." Suddenly, something beside him caught his eye, only to see many gold and silver jewelry displayed inside the cabinet. The man holding the bracelet looked excited, thinking that the previous owner was really wealthy since these things were left behind. "It's a pity that they weren't taken. It would be great if I could take them away." The bracelet suddenly held in a hand is slowly dissipating. At this moment, the system popped up and congratulated the host on the increase of 10,000 assets. Whatever objects made of gold that the host touches can be transformed into wealth. The man's eyes lit up with stars of gold. "It seems that if I find more gold, I can go back to the original world in no time." Just thinking about it, he started rummaging through every nook and cranny in the room. At that moment, the young lady also opened the door and walked out. Seeing the man's behavior, they both had a puzzled look on their faces and asked, "What are you doing?" The sudden sound startled the man. He nervously said, "I thought this place looked a bit dirty, so I wanted to help clean it up." The young lady looked puzzled. "Cleaning now?" Hao Good-Man quickly cleared his throat twice to interrupt the awkward tension. "Of course, a good man is me. I am Hao Good-Man." The two looked at the man who seemed like a mental retard, which directly rendered the young lady speechless for a while. The twin sisters, one gentle and considerate like water, and the other willful, capricious, and unreasonable. The not-so-gentle little sister is currently apologizing for her rudeness just now. But Shirley immediately